Looking at the great speeches in America is actually what I looked into rather than a classmate. So I was taking a look at the inaugural speech of John F. Kennedy, and I also kind of contrasted that to Donald Trump. Now, with these speeches, there was a large audience who were attentively listening, but they were looking for their content, their character, their volume, demeanor, and what they had to inspire the crowd. That was the nature of their speeches, the inspiration that they provided. Both speeches had mannerisms, they had gestures, they had different promises and beliefs and convictions that had both to do with religious as well as with the communities that they will serve. They recognized that it was a big part not just in their duties, but also of the people they serve to pretty much be the voice as well as the lead in the fulfillment of the promise or the place that they were, looking to improve, which in this case was America. I felt that in both speeches, but particularly in Trump's, that the outreach was to make America rise, to make something better. It was said with conviction. There was contact and concern for the crowd as they both, but in particular, Kennedy, I would say, in this point, looked to, touch and relate to people, that the strong support the weak, that together wrongs were to be righted, and that we were to unite as one. That was the big theme in the inaugural addresses, both of them, that we unite, that we all have the same foundation, background, the same start, that we were able to, be breathed into each one and all the same breath of life, which came from Almighty God, and that we were instilled with hopes and dreams and liberations of a new nation, of a new world, that we had to realize those dreams because we all are, in general, looking for the same thing. I mean, the majority definitely want good schools for their children, great jobs and successes for themselves, safe neighborhoods, to do away with some of the elements that are bringing down our communities, to also bring the jobs and bring the prosper, and I would say even the faith back to the homeland, to the neighborhoods, the communities. And that's the thing that I noticed, the great speeches that I looked at, both those inaugural speeches, but predominantly I was trying to look at Kennedy's speech, and that he entered an era with great challenges. There were both racial challenges, there were some financial challenges, there were the still after effects of post-war from the previous world wars that were a challenge, and that people were looking to get on track and to find a way to work with authority rather than rebel against it. And that's the thing that pretty much volumed and resounded, that if we work together and work strongly and believe in the not only the values that came from our very beginning, but in faith and just people all around, that we would be able to accomplish removing some of the things that are just not so desirable, whether it be crime or drugs or even just other nations who were looking to not be allies but more foes. And that's the thing that was great about those speeches, is that they were arming themselves with what the problems were. They were telling that they had added solutions, that they would work with the people, that the people would be the voice and the authority, and that they had a plan, essentially, to put things back in perspective, back in order, and to reassure and to let people know that it wasn't just about power and administration and different authorities having control, that it was a continuation of what was already started and an improvement on what had been started. And that's the thing that drew people to these speeches. And that's part of the reasons why these speeches were great, in that they took to not only their own agenda, but those who their agenda would oppress upon.